Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the secrets of an ancient, literally world-altering artifact that has absolutely captivated minds for millennia. We're talking about something way beyond a simple mythological tool. We're looking at the Sudarshan Chakra. As you probably know, this is the legendary weapon of Lord Krishna and Lord Vishnu. But what's truly mind-blowing is how the descriptions of this thing in ancient texts completely blur the line between divine magic and, honestly, hyper-advanced technology. Picture this. Deep beneath the waters of the Arabian Sea, you've got the ruins of the submerged golden city of Dwarka, the ancient domain of Lord Krishna himself. Now, according to some incredibly fascinating source narratives, hidden somewhere within those crushing depths, resting completely silently inside a stone box, isn't just a stash of gold or diamonds. No, we're talking about a weapon capable of altering the course of the universe. So you really have to wonder, what exactly lies waiting in the deep?
But before we get to all of the massive cinematic battles, we really need to understand what this artifact actually is. Because, spoiler alert, it is definitely not just a spinning disc of metal. The name Sudarshan comes from Su, which means auspicious, and Darshan meaning vision. Put them together, divine vision. It's described in the texts not just as an inanimate object, but as a conscious, living entity. When this thing is deployed, it isn't just mindlessly seeking a physical target. It's actively seeking to restore cosmic balance. It's a weapon of absolute, unflinching clarity.
Which brings us to Section 1, Anatomy of a Divine Weapon. Let's just look at the mind-bending physical and spiritual properties attributed to the chakra for a second. First off, it has 108 notched serrated edges that rotate in opposite directions. And as you know, 108 is a massively sacred number in Hindu tradition. It's said to travel millions of yojanas. We're talking incomprehensible cosmic distances here, literally in the blink of an eye. But the most remarkable part? You don't throw it. It's controlled entirely by thought and willpower. And spiritually speaking, its brilliant fire is said to grant papa nashanam. That means it quite literally burns away negative karmas just by being in its presence. Incredible, right? Because these ancient descriptions are so incredibly complex, modern analysts often turn to physics to try and wrap their heads around it. Some suggest the weapon operates on extreme kinetic energy, almost like a hyper-advanced gyroscope. The theory goes that as it spins, it creates this intense, plasma-like heat by burning the gas molecules around it, which generates temperatures comparable to the surface of the sun. And as for that blink of an eye speed, theorists actually suggest it might navigate space by opening mini wormholes, or maybe even utilizing quantum entanglement to instantly link up with Vishnu's consciousness. It basically just bypasses normal physical space altogether. Moving on to Section 2, Conflicting Origins. Now, you'd think a weapon this powerful would have one clear-cut origin story, right? Well, actually, the ancient sources present us with some deeply conflicting accounts. On one hand, you have the Vishnu Purana, which says the divine architect Vishwakarma literally chiseled it out of the scorching brilliance of the sun god. The story goes that when Surya's wife just couldn't bear his intense heat anymore, Vishwakarma stepped in, shaved off an eighth of the sun's brilliance, and forged the chakra from that blinding solar dust. But if you look at the Shiva Purana, it claims it wasn't built in a forge at all. It says it was earned by Lord Vishnu through 1,000 years of absolutely grueling penance to Lord Shiva. And that brings us to the number 999, which perfectly illustrates the intense drama of that second origin story. To really test Vishnu's devotion, Shiva challenged him. So, Vishnu promises to offer exactly 1,000 lotus flowers in his daily prayers. After years and years of doing this flawlessly, Shiva secretly hides just one single flower. When Vishnu realizes he only has 999 lotuses ready for the offering, he doesn't even hesitate. Actually, scratch that. It's more like he unflinchingly plucked out his own eye and offered it into the sacred fire right then and there to complete the vow. Deeply moved by this ultimate sacrifice, Shiva granted him the Sudarshan Chakra. So, how was this power wielded? Let's get into Section 3, Epic Battles and Illusions. It's time to see this weapon in action. There's this famous event during King Yudhishthira's royal assembly that just perfectly highlights the chakra's lethal precision. Basically, King Shishupala had this bitter, deep-seated hatred for Krishna and just starts hurling terrible insults at him in front of everyone. But Krishna had previously promised Shishupala's mother that he would forgive exactly 100 of his offenses. So Krishna just sits there with a totally calm smile, quietly counting 98, 99, 100. When Shishupala finally crosses the line with that 101st insult and actually draws his sword, Krishna simply raises his index finger. The chakra instantly materializes, cleanly beheads Shishupala faster than anyone can even blink, and then returns right back to Krishna's finger without a single drop of blood on its pristine blades. Just wow. In another really incredible account, the chakra functions almost like a dimension-hopping homing missile. Here's the setup. The notoriously ill-tempered sage Devasa unfairly curses Krishna's devoted follower Ambarisha. So the chakra is deployed, and it relentlessly pursues sage Devasa across the entire universe. I mean, the sage flees Earth, goes all the way to the realm of Lord Brahma, and then he even tries hiding in the realm of Lord Shiva, but no deity could or would stop it. It was this unstoppable cosmic force, and it only finally halted its pursuit when Durvasa returned to Earth, swallowed his pride, and begged Ambarisha for forgiveness. But here's the thing. The chakra isn't only used for physical destruction. During the Great Mahabharata War, Krishna desperately needed to create a sunset to save the warrior Arjuna. Now, the traditional story says Krishna used the chakra to physically cover the sun. Boom, instant darkness. However, there's actually some really intense debate among modern readers about this. For example, one insightful Reddit user pointed out that Krishna might have used it to project an environmental illusion instead, a kind of divine Maya, tricking the enemy's minds into thinking night had fallen. It's a fascinating take because it suggests the weapon can manipulate reality and perception itself, not just physical matter. Which naturally leads us to Section 4, the final mystery. Think about it. A weapon of this sheer magnitude, something literally capable of tearing through space and time, cannot simply vanish into thin air. So where did it go? Well, the ancient texts offer us two deeply compelling possibilities. Some scriptures claim that when Krishna shed his mortal form, the chakra immediately returned to the divine cosmic realm of Vaikuntha, shooting up into the sky as a streak of pure, blinding light. But there are other traditions that insist the gods deliberately hid it right here on Earth. The idea is that, to keep it out of the greedy hands of humanity, they took its world-ending power and buried it deep in the ruins of Krishna's own city. So I'm going to leave you with this final, rather provocative thought. While the underwater exploration of the submerged city of Dwarka continues to this very day, and yeah, they are finding ancient walls and pieces of pottery down there, the ultimate prize remains completely undiscovered. You have to wonder, is the Sudarshan Chakra, arguably the ultimate weapon of the universe, silently resting in a stone box beneath the crushing pressure of the Arabian Sea, just waiting for the exact right moment in cosmic time to awaken once again? It is a mystery that brilliantly bridges ancient wisdom and the absolute limits of our imagination, and that is exactly why this matters.